Hey guys, today we are making Pan Sobao. This is a Puerto Rican style bread that is subtly sweet and super fluffy. It comes together quite easily, so let me show you how to make it. So we are starting with 3 cups of bread flour in a bowl and just whisking that together with some salt, granulated sugar, and instant yeast. Next, we're adding warm water, and it's really important when you're working with instant yeast that you check the temperature of your water because anything above like 125, 130 can kill the yeast. So just use warm tap water and measure it to make sure it is under 125 degrees and you should be good to go. If you don't have a thermometer, I would just err on the cooler side of warm water. So yeah, you just don't want it to be super hot. But I really do encourage you to invest in a cooking thermometer. It's just a super useful tool to have in the kitchen. Okay, and then the final ingredient is vegetable shortening. We're gonna melt that thoroughly before adding it into the bowl with all the other ingredients. And then we are just kneading this super well. If you have like a stand mixer, you could do this in there and it would come together quicker. But I like to knead with my hands when I'm making dough. I don't know, there's just something that feels very right about it. Anyway, we're kneading this until a consistent dough forms. It should take about 5 minutes. And then we're just going to round it into a ball of dough and cover it. I like to use a clean kitchen towel here and just let it sit on the countertop for about an hour or until it has doubled in size. So once it looks something like this, we're going to punch our dough down just to deflate any of those air pockets and then transfer it onto a clean flour dusted surface. At this point, it really doesn't need much extra work, but I like to just knead it together again to just make sure all of those little air pockets are out of the dough. From there, we're going to go ahead and just divide this ball of dough in half so that we're going to make 2 equal sized baguettes. Honestly, I don't know if you'd call these baguettes or loaves, but they're skinny and long, so I call them baguettes. Anyway, we are shaping each half of dough into a circle, and then we are rolling it out with a rolling pin into a rectangle. This does not have to be exact. It doesn't have to be any specific dimensions. Just get the length about as long as you'd like your baguette or your loaf to be, and then roll out the width as well into a rectangle shape. You want it to be, I would say like half an inch or a quarter of an inch in thickness. And then you are just rolling this into a log. If you've ever made cinnamon rolls before, this is similar technique. We are just rolling it up into a log, and then we are tucking the ends of the log under just so that they don't dry out while baking. And you're just going to repeat this entire procedure with the other half of the dough that we set aside earlier. And once your 2 loaves are all formed and ready to go, we're just going to add them to a parchment lined baking sheet, and again cover with a clean kitchen towel and let them sit on the countertop for an hour to, again, double in size and rise. And then finally, we are going to spray with water. You could do an egg wash here if you're into that, but I just like using water. I think it works really well. And then we're baking for about 30 minutes or until they are golden brown on the outside and fluffy and light on the inside. Truly nothing like eating a loaf of this straight out of the oven. It is an out-of-body experience for me. I hope you enjoy.